Hey guys, Jacob here. So, in this video, I'm going to show you the reason why I haven't been very active for a few weeks. It's because I've been working on a really big puzzle, and I just finished said puzzle last night, and I am finally ready to show it. So, what is that puzzle? Well, it's a 23 by 23. Now, here it is up close. Now you may notice it actually looks relatively small compared to my hands. Here it is next to a 3x3. It actually, the cube actually has an edge length of just 115 millimeters, which is very small for what it is. In fact, here's my first ever really big cube, the original Moyu 13x13. The 23 by 23 is smaller, despite having 10 more layers. So that's something I thought was pretty crazy. The reason I was able to make it as small as it is because each of these little pieces is only 3.5 millimeters wide. That is very small for pieces on a cube, even on a big cube. However, you may remember when I made the 11 by 11, I made each piece 4 millimeters, and it turned out really well, so I was going to make smaller pieces. Well, this is the cube that I used to try 3.5 millimeter cubies, and as you can see, it turned out very well. Now, with all that said, I'm going to do a turning demonstration. So, the turning is shockingly good for what it is. I've seen a video on Reddit of another 3D printed 23 by 23 that just completely crumbled. That one didn't have a very good mechanism. The core was very unstable. And here's some inner turns. So, every single layer is pretty smooth, and this puzzle is very stable too, unlike that other one I saw on Reddit. The reason is because the inner structure is actually, it actually contains a frame. What I mean is the corners, these central edge pieces, and the absolute centers are actually part of an inside 3x3 frame that holds all the other pieces in line. At cubes of this size, it is crucial to have a sturdy frame, otherwise the entire cube's just going to be a floppy mess. Now, I'm going to show you pictures of its mechanism to show why it is as stable as it is. So, here's a picture of it fully assembled in CAD. Here's the other side, a face view, and then that is the inside structure. I'm actually going to zoom in on this a bit so you can see it better. But as you can see, it's got a 3-shell design. You can see it a little better. You can see it a lot better here. This is at half assembled. You can see it's got a rail right here, which is the 3x3 frame. It actually has an interlocking rail system that ensures it's extra stable. So, like, the edges are a hook like this, and then the centers are a plate like this, and they hook together so it can't go up or down. I actually got this idea from Matt Bonner, who has made other puzzles with cores like this, and they turned out very well. So I started using that design in my own puzzles, so I would like to credit this part to him. And aside from that, it's got 2 additional shells. The first one being, of course, a 3x3. The second one is a 13x13. The reason for that is you have 5 pieces right here that hook under the second plate. So you got 5 here, and then 1, 2, 3. That adds to 13 layers. And then finally, the outside layer is for the 23x23. Here's that same picture from the top. You can much better see what I was talking about which pieces hook beneath which frame. You can see right here the hook I was talking about. And then you got 10 pieces between the midge and the center. Those are called plus centers. I split it up into 5 and 5, so the outer 5 hook under the second plate and the inner 5 hook under the first plate. And this multi-shell mechanism is the biggest thing that makes big cubes stable. And then this is what the outer layer looks like. I used a very simple V-cube-esque mech. And right here you can much better see the hook mechanism I was talking about, the rails. This combined with the tight tensions just result in an ultra sturdy frame that turns smoothly and is absolutely no way in heck gonna fall apart. So that if you want to make a big cube stable, you want to do something like this, definitely. And then that is the same view from the top. So back to the physical cube. I did some size comparisons. I did some turns. Now to fully demonstrate the turning, I'm actually going to put it in the checkerboard pattern. Now this cube works well for the most part. The only issue I have is the second and third layers. When I'm turning them, some pieces will separate like this, and sometimes they separate enough to where the piece above them will fall down into that gap and cause a lockup. But those are relatively minor and are easy to fix. I can just kind of finesse the piece back into place, and it's fine. The deeper turns don't really have that problem, though. So I'm extremely pleased with how this cube turned out. It is by far the most complex and ambitious puzzle I've ever made. I was able to make it in only 3 weeks. The reason for that is I have 3 very high-end Prusa 3D printers. They print parts at excellent quantity and excellent speed, and that has allowed me to make a puzzle like this in such a short time frame. Now, this checkerboard takes a little bit because for each layer you have to do 22 turns. So that's 66 total turns that you have to do to checkerboard the whole cube, which is pretty crazy. I genuinely find it's easiest to use it if you use the table. Another thing I like about this cube is the size. It's very compact, of course, and that allows it to be smaller, cheaper, and just overall easier to manipulate and play with. Like other cubes this size that have been made have been like absolutely ginormous, weighed in excess of 10 or even 20 pounds, and you absolutely needed to use both your arms to pick it up. This one weighs only 2.7 pounds, and I can pick it up with one hand easily. And for a 23 by 23, that is pretty crazy that I can do that with a 23. Heck, even the 13 by 13, when I first got it, it was pretty cumbersome to play with. Now granted, I was only 13 when I got this cube, and my hands were a bit smaller then, but still though, this just shows just the long way that cube making has come since this puzzle was released. So checkerboard is almost done. It's got like maybe 9 or 10 more layers to turn. Alright, here it is in the checkerboard pattern. As you can see, it looks absolutely mesmerizing in this state. I love how you can see all the individual little squares more easily because of the contrasting colors. You gotta show every single side. And so this is why I haven't uploaded or been very active lately, because I've just been grinding, getting this made as quickly as possible. And all that effort I put in and all that time I spent making it was well worth it, because this is an absolute mouth-watering puzzle to both look at and play with. And I am very proud to be not only the owner, but also the creator of this puzzle. And with that said, real quick, what I was going to say earlier, I know this puzzle seems insane, but because I was able to make this one so quickly, I have plans to make even bigger, more insane puzzles. So this is just the beginning. With that said, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.